So this is my presentation outlining my contribution to the SRS project which me and my group did on the company Zoom. The SRS stands for Software Requirement Specifications, and what it's for is to basically answer questions like what does the software do and how it will be expected to work and perform. There are four models that go into the SRS. The first being the stakeholder model, which explains and outlines the roles of different stakeholders within the organization. The goal model, which points out the achievements the company wants to reach, whether it be business goals, usage goals, or system goals. The third is the system vision model, which is an in-depth description of the software product which is to be developed. And finally, the case model, which basically explains how the user will use the product. I decided to discuss the employee stakeholder, and I believe the two models that are most relevant to the employees are the goal model and the case model. First being the goal model, I believe this is important because as employees, you should know what the company wants to achieve, as it is your responsibility to promote and come up with advertisements for people to gain interest in the product, which leads to the company earning its profits. So the company really relies on employees to reach these goals. Second is the case model. As employees, you will also be dealing with customer inquiries and questions and problems. So they should know how the system works inside and out, and so they know how to answer anything the customer has issues with. What's required of employees, I think, is that they are creative, which translates to their advertisement work, friendly, so that they are approachable and easy to work with users, as well as eloquent, so that they are easy to understand and good with their words when explaining instructions for users whenever they're having difficulty. So it's easy for the users to follow the instructions given to them. So it's easy for them to understand. Questions, I believe uh, I should ask the potential stakeholders is, do you know the functions of the system inside and out? Are you good with dealing with customers? So dealing with their complaints or issues or inquiries? And are you passionate enough to help the company achieve the goals that they aim for? After working on this project, I can point out that there were aspects that were my strengths, which was producing the goals that the company wants to achieve, as I think very creatively when it comes to having a vision on how I want something to turn out. As well as this, I had weaknesses which I found while creating the domain model, which I just found an overall difficulty thinking of the operation within the software because there was a minimum amount I had to have in the domain model. The most difficult part for me was the process over the model, as envisioning what you want is a lot easier than detailing and explaining it in depth, and I had to put a lot of brain power to understand what was necessary to answer my sections correctly. System vision model was, in my opinion, the most important aspect, as the user is attracted to what the product can do, and so we had to make sure the service worked as something someone would desire to use. To conclude this, if I were to restart the project, I would emphasize more focus on the domain model, as I think I could have added more to it to make it more detailed and attractive. In the end, I looked at it and I thought maybe the layout was just too messy. And as well as this, I wish that I would have overall worked quicker, as I did take my time because I wanted to make sure I was doing everything right, but I should have been more effective with my time. But I hope this was informative. Thank you for listening.